hopped up on female hormones now. Most of them can't even operate. I saw Austin police cadets a month ago. I shot video of it. You saw it. And a bunch of them couldn't swim. You know what they did? They didn't wash them up. They put them in life jackets. Let me give you a little news flash. If grown men can't swim, they probably were sat in front of televisions their whole life. And I'm going to bet they don't have some other skills they need. I mean, just a guess. You know, if you don't know how to swim, which any animal, you can throw any animal in and they know how to swim by instinct. That's a mental illness if somebody didn't know how to swim. I'm just going to give you a little news flash. You can take a week-old rat and drop it in water. It knows how to swim. You can take a month-old dog and drop it in water. It knows how to swim. Okay? If a full-grown man doesn't know how to swim, they don't have business doing any job that's rough and tumble. Okay, excuse me, side issue. Imagine our men are debilitated chicken necks now. Can you imagine the women? But again, that's this all, oh, yeah, you'll see, macho. They're going to get rid of combat. You're all going to be robot operators, drone operators. Men are done. It's the end of men. The globalists have announced it. They've said it. They don't want John Wayne types. They don't want, that's why they arrest you if you get in a fist fight. They don't want you spanking your kids. They're going to taser them. Or they're going to put them on hardcore drugs when they're bad. You are going to be taught to not defend yourself. They teach kids when bullies beat you up, let them beat you up. They teach you when home invaders come in your house, let them rape you. Instead of fight back. You notice the feminists don't teach women to go out and get guns and use them. I'm for women knowing how to use knives, guns, hatchets. I'm teaching my girls how to fight. I'm going to put them all in martial arts. I'm going to teach them how to kick men in the groin. I'm going to teach them how to knock people's teeth out. I'm going to teach them if they get in a fight, punch somebody right in the throat. Somebody attacks you, attack them to kill them. Somebody assaults you, they could be trying to kill you. So you take them out. That's what I'm teaching my family. I want my women empowered. I want them strong. But see, that's not feminism. Feminism is women pumped full of estrogen on the verge of death, getting cancer when they're 25, and they're men pumped up on estrogen. See, men just get lethargic on estrogen. Women get wild-eyed and dominant. It's their testosterone. And that's what all the bisphenol A and all the chemicals are. This is the globalist sick joke. They said they do it in Brave New World. You're like, Alex, that's fiction. Oh, really? Huxley wrote a Brave New World Revisited in 1961 and said it was all real in a plan. So don't tell me. I know about eugenics. I know about the plan. I know what they've done. So they're going to break the military up and screw it all up and turn them into little ninny nannies. And they're going to be called global enforcers of the peace. That's the UN model. With a bunch of women land in their big ospreys, robots roll out, and they command them to go take out the men that aren't on the hormones. And we're going to celebrate the women and put the men down, and the men are going to be metrosexual, and that's the way things work. This is the attack on men. This is what this is all about, and it's about social engineering within the military. It's about the globalists forcing their way into it. And, I make the joke about, hey, they make taxpayers all over the country pay for sex changes for men and women because you have a right to that identity. And don't think I'm attacking your identity. I'm not even in that radar zone. You want to think I'm obsessed with it because that gives you a bigger thrill that I want to keep you from whatever. You want to go in and have surgery and have your whatever done, that's your issue. I don't need to pay for it. You understand that? But here's the issue. So I shouldn't joke and say men might start demanding uteruses. They're saying with genetic engineering, that's coming. So see, men demand to be able to have babies. Women are magical, incredible creatures we're supposed to hold up. And then there are some women that are dominant types who will out-male males in the field. That's always happened. There's always been Joan of Arc. There's always been Queen Elizabeth. There's always been those type of women out there. I quite frankly admire them. There's something pretty sexy about that. But the point is, oh, yeah, I like real women. I like the fire in their eyes, the whole 9 yards. But they have the real femininity on top of it. This is an attack on men and women. This is an attack on the family. The messages you see in the culture are there to destroy that. Jesse Ventura is coming up at 5 after. Paul Watson joins us via Skype. Paul Watson, you've got a big story up at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. Inmate James Holmes told me he was programmed to kill by evil therapist. Now, break this down for us, and then I've got some thoughts. Paul Watson.
Well, good to be back, Alex. Yeah, this basically came out of quite an obscure blog about a week ago. It's received very little attention. And it's about the claim of an inmate at the same prison that James Holmes was taken to immediately after the Batman massacre back in July. And he claims that he sat with Holmes after he was, arrested and put in the cell and talked with him for 4 hours. And that he basically told him, the quotes are in the article, that he thought he was programmed by an evil therapist, mind-controlled, brainwashed to carry out the massacre. He said he felt like he was in a video game. And of course, all this mirrors almost precisely what happened with Sirhan Sirhan in the immediate aftermath of the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. So the question of whether the Aurora massacre was staged, whether this guy James Holmes was brainwashed, mind-controlled into carrying out the massacre, remains open. But a question that doesn't remain open is the fact that people can be brainwashed, can be hypnotized, can be mind-controlled to carry out assassinations. Because as recently as last month, the Discovery Channel put out a program called Brainwashed, and it was run by top experts, Cynthia Myersberg out of Harvard and Mark Stokes out of Oxford University, England. They teamed up with one of the top certified hypnotherapists in the world for this Discovery Channel program. They basically started off with 185 people. They found out through a process of elimination who was the most liable, who was the easiest to be brainwashed to carry out an assassination, an incident that this person thought was a real assassination. And at the end of the program, they were successful. They successfully hypnotized an individual to carry out an assassination. That was Harvard University, Oxford University, England, Discovery Channel only last month. There was another program about a year ago that aired in England called Derren Brown, the Unconscious Assassin, and it was basically the same premise. They got a guy to assassinate a celebrity live on stage, and afterwards he said he had no conscious memory of doing it. He thought he was, quote, in a shooting range. And let me stop you. We're going to go to break and come back with this. But this is getting worse and worse because studies show, we covered it in the last issue of the magazine, that people are in a trance-like state because of television. It's put the general public in a highly suggestible, near dream-like daydream state. And here's the deal. It was all over the news. I want you to do another article on this, Paul. I got David Knight doing a report tonight on the Nightly News about it. They admit, Paul, and we're going to cover this when we come back, and anybody can pull this up, but everybody remembers this, that the inmates were all complaining of him not going to sleep for 3 days, yelling and screaming and spitting and gibbering. Now they say no one was ever around him to say this, and the police didn't want the 5-inch thick folder with this top psych warfare Pentagon psychiatrist assigned to him, and he was in a mind control program funded by DARPA. This is all mainstream news, getting tens of thousands of dollars a year. I mean, he fits the whole M.O., and they didn't want that in the trial, and reportedly in that folder was all the planning for the attacks. Have you ever wanted to generate your own supply of electrical power, even save money on your electric bill? If so, this could be one of the most important messages you will ever hear. Solar-powered generators are now available. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electrical power plant running quietly in your own home. Run sump pumps, shortwave radios, computers, and even keep your food from spoiling. Whether it's hurricanes, ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never suffer through painful power outages again. And here's the best news. A remarkable fall truckload sale is going on right now that gets you $1,700 in bonuses when you buy a solar generator. To find out why these solar generators are the best generators and get $1,700 in bonuses for doing so, go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com. Generate your own supply of electricity. Go to falltruckloadsale.com. That's falltruckloadsale.com.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today. In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $34.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and makes a great Christmas gift, or it's perfect if you're traveling over the holidays. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
All right, Watson, you're joining us now. We could do a whole show on this. The patents on mind control. Sirhan, it's now even in the LA Times, BBC, where the police are saying it was mind control, that he didn't shoot RFK, that they know who shot him. That was in the original report, that he had been drugged. You can give somebody an amnesic like Halcyon they give people to have their wisdom teeth pulled, and you could tell them to murder someone and they would do it and then not remember it 2 hours later. And you've got this guy in a government mind control program with a government grant under the Air Force psychiatrist who had been assigned to high-level programs, who's then sent out there. She's meeting with him constantly. She's got his folder, which they don't want to release, which reportedly he's talking about how he was going to do all this. And then that's how these people describe who are programmed on the shows you mentioned, Paul, that you linked to. It's like a video game. It's so incredible, Paul. It's so obvious. Please continue.
Well, yeah, then you've got the actual, chain of events itself, whereby you've got people describing gas canisters being thrown from the opposite side of the theatre to where Holmes was located. You've got him describing Holmes waiting at the exit door and beckoning someone else over. That's also what he told this inmate. He tried to call somebody during the actual attack. So you've got all that. You've got the fact that his apartment was booby-trapped with these highly sophisticated explosives. People said you would have to be an army explosives expert to have that level of expertise. He supposedly rigs it to cause the maximum damage to whoever discovers it. But the very first thing he does when he's arrested is he tells the police that his apartment's rigged with explosives. It makes absolutely no sense. There's a ton of evidence suggesting additional shooters. The original police reports suggested that.
And he told this inmate that he was under, it was like mind control. He was suddenly out of the trance once he got back to his car. And then the police run out and say, oh, no one had access to him, when it's all on record that for days the inmates were complaining about him, yelling and screaming right next to them. I mean, it's on record that he was in the general jail area, in his own cell next to people. So the fact that they don't want his folder from the psychiatrist, they're saying, oh, well, that's private. We don't want to see that. I mean, come on. This thing reeks to high heaven, Paul.
Well, they're trying to dismiss this inmate's claims by saying he couldn't have possibly talked to Holmes. But, yeah, like you said,